Already recorded. Okay, this is the making of. Hello, hello, hello. Testing in 5, 4. Recording, right? 3, 2. Hello, 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 and welcome to the pre-Raya Shelah Talks time of the month. Oh my God, sakitnya aku. A few more days we're going to be celebrating Raya, and then one day after that we're going to be celebrating Raya Merdeka Raya. And there's so many things happening next week because all of you will be off, so no one's going to be in KL. Best the Jalan Raya, kan? It's all about the Raya. I'm loving it. And of course, I said, once of the month, every time of the once of the month, I will talk to the people of Malaysia. Last month I talked to this, all those monkeys. I introduced you to that work here at BFM. This month I want to talk to the people who are the youthful in the Malaysia, because I always talk about them on the radio station. How these young people are now nation shaping the nation. I don't understand what that means, because there's a lot of fat farms. Is it in KL? I don't know. Never been there before. So let me introduce you to our guest for this time of the month. So we have this very handsome. He look very corporate at the moment. Don't know Datuk siapa punya anak, this one. This is Fuad, but Fuad in the night time takes off this business attire, and he's in this group called Kyoto Protocol.
That's right, Kyoto Protocol. Yeah.
How do you like being a musician and this corporate person?
It's actually a very good balance for me. It kind of fulfills all my needs as a human being. I have the business side to kind of keep me in touch with what's going on in the world, and of course, ever since I was 3 years old, I was holding up a tennis racket and playing it like a guitar. So it seemed like the natural thing to do, really. I just hope that
from tennis racket to musician, it's very natural. Most of the time, we don't know what we're doing with the racket. And then my next guest, she's very beautiful. When she walked in the door, I was like, oh my God, Miss Malaysia! And of course, she is! Ladies and gentlemen, this woman also, her private life in the daytime, she's only Miss Malaysia at night, because in the daytime, she also had to wear office attire like that. And she does public relations, PR like that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very beautiful lady. Thank you for coming on air. This is Nadia. Hey.
Hello, thanks for having me.
And how are you?
I'm good. The last time I was here was with Datuk Yasmin Yusof as well.
Is it?
Now and then.
Yeah, we don't mention her on radio because that one is Miss Malaya. You are Miss Malaysia. It's different. It was a long time ago before the colony, when she became the beauty queen, and they were to give her like a coconut husk for a crown. So anyway, never mind. Hi Yasmin, how are you? Are you listening? Hello. Good morning. So evening. So yeah, so of course the three of us together are doing something very interesting come Malaysia Day. That's not next week. Malaysia Day is not Hari Merdeka, please don't be clueless. Merdeka is independence. That is when we got the independence from the colonials lah. And then we're going to have Malaysia Day, which is what? What is Malaysia Day? A lot of people still very confused.
Yeah, you know what? I'm kind of confused. I'm gonna say.
Are you really? Yeah. After I give you my number.
Much obliged. Is it Malaysia's birthday of some sort?
Are you kidding me?
No?
Are you serious?
Yeah, actually.
Serious.
Okay, I'm going to ask the beauty queen, /PR woman. What is Malaysia Day?
Oh, it's basically when Singapore is separated from Malaysia.
Oh my God, I tell you, this is the end of it all. You know what I mean? It's over. Here I want to talk about how smart the youth of Malaysia are. One is telling me one thing, the other one is telling me when Singapore left. No! Malaysia Day is when Sabah and Sarawak became part of us. Yeah, because for about 50 years, we had to get a visa to go to that side of Malaysia. Who cares about Singapore? It's still Malaysia.
In my defense, I was actually born in Singapore.
Yeah, but you're here now, right? What passport do you carry?
Malaysian passport, all my life.
All your life you carry Malaysian passport? Because, how old are you?
Should I divulge that? 27.
So okay lah.
You can calculate first.
You were born in Singapore but have a Malaysian passport.
Yes, actually, because both my parents are Malaysian, and if you are born to Malaysian citizens in Singapore, you have the right to
your persona non grata like that.
Yeah,
exactly. That's why they don't want us. That's why we flush our toilet, they drink our water. It's so easy that way. Yeah, but you see, Malaysia Day is with now celebrating the 2nd annual Malaysia Day, because last year we had this big party all over the country celebrating the fact that yes, we are finally a nation. But of course, this is a major PR spin lah. I'm not afraid to say that. You should know this, Nadia. But at the same time, even though it's all this nonsense, nationalist propaganda, it's starting to actually bring people together.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, can you believe it? Oh my God! I tell you again, you see this 27-year-old boy, I think he's too busy being whatever he's doing with the daytime. Yeah, but this year it's getting bigger. Yeah, a bit deprived. So I'm going to go talk to Nadia. You just sit here and look cute.
Okay,
and then later you play your tennis racket for me. Yeah. So Nadia, I mean, now, have you noticed, I mean, since you become Miss Malaysia also, you have to play the, the unity harmony card a lot when you're in public. But do you see a slight change?
I think, well, especially for this year, like you said, this year being our second year, and of course, moving along to what we were going to talk about initially anyway, with Undi Malaysia campaign, with people at MCCHR and June Wow, who have come together to collaborate and do a huge campaign in conjunction with Malaysia Day. I think things like this are, encouraged, and I'm really glad they're doing it, because it's things like this that get us really excited. There's Merdeka and there's Malaysia Day, and there's a reason, like you said, that everyone's sort of like, there's been a lot of hype since last year, and I hope it really builds momentum.
I think it's good also, like this thing that we're doing, this Undi Malaysia thing, I mean, it's targeted at the age group of 18 to 35. I don't know what I'm doing there. So I already tell people how old I am. But it's good that the youth are involved, and I think I've noticed at my tender old age of I'm still younger than a certain first lady. But it's nice to see that more youth, the early 20s, teenagers who come out of school, they feel a bit more, I don't want to say patriotic, but they want to know more, they want to experience more, they expect more from the country now. I mean, what's it like for you as young adults?
I can really vouch for that, because what you said was exactly how I feel. I lived abroad for many years, and these past 2 years were is really the first 2 years that I've lived in KL, lived in Malaysia. And I've always had this attachment to Malaysia, because my passport's been stamped with a crest,
a crest.
of sorts. And now it's starting to occur to me, I do want to learn more. I want to know why Malaysia Day. I want to know why is it wages haven't increased at the same pace of
as the cost of living.
Yeah, as the cost of living, as the cost of rice or sugar, and why? Why? Just going everywhere and asking why.
Yes, and because the price of sugar is like that, people are still drinking a lot of sugar, getting fat, and we wonder why we have obesity problems.
Yeah, and diabetes.
And diabetes and all that. It's a funny word for, kecik manis, diabetes. I always thought diabetes was about two people talking, like a diatribe like that. So diatribe, I thought it was just a tribe of people dieting. These words all very amaze me. I tell you, England is such a tall language.
So very powerful.
Very powerful. I see Miss Malaysia's clever. I love it. So what about you? How do you feel? Because I know you're also another one of us, who went abroad like that.
No,
and then you live your whole life here.
I lived my whole life here. I grew up in Port Dickson. I went to Chinese school, I went to Malay school, and then I went to local university. So
wow.
I did everything here, yeah.
I'm so impressed now.
That is quite impressive.
Wow.
So you must speak like many languages then.
I speak like every other Malaysian, 3 languages, English, Malay, and Chinese.
Which Chinese dialect do you speak?
Mandarin.
Oh,
讲华语。
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 你好 Malaysia， 你好。一个我是说。I only speak Cantonese as you all.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. So how does it feel for you? I mean, since you grew up, and of course you grew up on the other side of the town, which is closer to the beach, where you could see the horizon and not ugly buildings being built around you.
It was very nice. It was
Yeah.
very nice. That was, despite people making fun of me being from a small town, it was very nice. And I think it's, I think, honestly, I think the internet has a lot to do with, the new generation sort of being more aware, wanting to know more. And I think it's sort of it's been a huge driving force in the past 10 years especially. So I think, you see, as people get older, like if I look at the 12-year-olds now, they know so much more than what I did when I was their age. And I think it inevitably contributes to them wanting a better place for our country as well. Yeah.
How do you think our youth is influenced by all this YouTube culture and Lady Gaga pretending she's a monster?
Well,
how does that encourage us to... I mean, because now that in the news, it's how, as Malaysians, we are supposedly different from the rest of the world. And then, the youth, they want to be Lady Gaga and a monster. But how does it affect a positive attitude, you think? How?
Well, I mean, it's not all good. It depends on the user at the end of the day, whether you're using it for the right or wrong reasons. But I think... if you're talking about YouTube, I think it's a huge platform for driving creativity. It's a huge, it's something that never existed. I can't even fathom sometimes, to think before the internet was invented, how people got around.
We
You
wrote
just have to
letters,
make
okay.
so much more effort.
Rode horses.
But
We
now
licked
everything's
stamps.
like
Carrier pigeons and...
Okay, I don't know when you were born. Suddenly he's like carrier pigeon.
Well, I'd like to use one instead of email.
I'll show you my pigeon later.
Okay.
So anyway.
But yeah, no, I think people are just generally have so much more easy access to information, so they automatically mature a lot faster and learn more about worldly issues.
But are you afraid of that as a both of you watching? Because I noticed kind of when, with my generation, we grew up really fast and then we kind of lost our childhood. And a lot of us tried to regain it at the tender age of 30.
Why do you say you lost your childhood?
I don't know why, but you know, I think from back then already we felt like we had to grow up fast.
Right.
I think we'll...
Like you weren't pampered like how
Yeah.
a lot of kids are.
A lot of kids
today.
now suddenly at the age of 18 years old, they're still 10. And then suddenly they have to grow up really fast. They have 2 years to be adults and go find a job.
Right,
when
they realize they're turning 30 and they've got no savings.
Yeah, I mean, you notice how, like, you know, they all, now all these upper musicians, like all the Justin Bieber and all that, you know. I mean, music is catering to, like, sperm now. I mean, everyone is so young, kan? So how do you feel like as a musician? I mean, you're quite aged according to most, you know, music industry people. Kan? 27 is very
true.
old.
That's very true. And you know what? This applies to everything: the YouTube, music. It's a new playing field, and if you want to grab people's attention, you've got to come up with something fresh. You've got to find your own niche.
Fresh.
And
He's talking about me.
yeah, I am talking about her. And
Her, he called me her. He's clever. I love it.
well, you know, I might not know what Malaysia Day is, but
Yeah, so you know who I am,
Another way,
right?
yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, so yeah, you gotta be you gotta be unique, you know, and that's what actually really drew me towards Undi Malaysia. I was about to say Undi Malaysia.
You and I.
Classic.
It's you and I.
You and I in
Yeah.
Malaysia, because it's doing something different.
Yes.
You know, and I think we've got a struggle to attract the attention of the youth who honestly all have ADD now. And I think
How
Undi
they
Malaysia's,
do?
yeah, I think
How do they afford it? I can't even buy a new Proton. They want to buy ADD.
ADD.
I can't even buy 4D. Never I want to buy ADD. Apa ni? I tell you, that's why I'm telling you, the youth of Malaysia nowadays, as much as I love them and I still talk to them and as my male self, I conduct workshops at colleges and things, but it's always either they're very complacent and very pampered, or they suddenly want to rule the world, which was never the case when we were growing up. We still wanted to play a bit, we still wanted to rule the world a bit, but you know, we were in no hurry to get there. But that's starting to change, and I think this You and I Malaysia, which will be called You and I from now on, this undi business, we still don't know whether it's fair and lovely or not. So we just call it You and I Malaysia, because it is about all of us together.
Yeah.
But what is good about it also is a lot of us, we're just 3 of the many involved, we're going to help raise funds, and each of us have our own cause that we're standing up for or trying to create awareness for. What is yours?
Mine is Right for the Indigenous People. And I thought, well, because when I saw the whole list, there was a whole list of things, and it was just something that stuck out. And partly because I saw a friend of mine, her dad did a documentary about the Orang Asli. It's called Guardians of the Forest. And for me, you know, before actually seeing the video and before making a trip to Tamanagara, like, you know, it's just something that I think people in the city or anywhere else, it's just something you don't even think about. You think about, you know, the price of sugar going up, you think about education because it affects you. But the rights of the indigenous people, you know, they are sidelined and marginalized a lot, and it's something that it doesn't even occur to us.
And suddenly the houses turn into a landing
Exactly,
strip.
and our modernization is at their expense. So when I saw that, I decided that will be my cause. Yeah.
Wonderful. How about you, Fuad? Are you standing up for the corporate sector?
I'm standing for the little guy, and I'm talking about the cost.
Chinese boy.
Yeah, all the little guys in Malaysia. The cost of living. That's what I take a stand for. I mean, I graduated with a degree. I've gotten a relatively comfortable job. I would say I'm not saying it's too comfortable, but the cost of living seems to be creeping up faster than
Yes, I know.
my increments are
I've had
coming.
to change telcos because it gets too expensive. I'm not going to say
Exactly.
which telco it is because you promised me a lot of things, you know, you yellow man. And then suddenly now it's like, my service is crap. I can't even go to Pavilion and make a phone call.
Yeah.
You heard that or not, Henry? I don't think this is the show anyway. But did you hear that, Henry? Yeah, so anyway, continue.
Yeah. So if